Hello, everyone. Welcome to another soulful sip conversation. Today, we will talk about a deep concept that sits at the center of our hearts. And if we are brave enough to put it at the center of our lives, it sits at the center of our lives as well. We will talk about love and we will unpack how love is actually an art and how we can practice it if we are consciously opening up more space for it to exist in our lives. Well, by now, if you have been following me, you know that I love books. I love acquiring lots of wisdom and lots of inspiration from the books. And one of my favorite books is The Art of Loving by Erich Fromm. I can't recall when was the exact time I found this book, but likely almost a decade ago. And somehow during February, while we were honoring love in different forms or having more excuses to welcome more love into our lives, I wanted to refresh my heart and my mind with the wisdom from this book once again. And I'm so happy that I did. I will use this opportunity to share my love about the art of loving, and I will ground the contemplation around some of the excerpts, some of the quotes that I captured from the book, to be able to share some of its wisdom and hopefully ignite the love in you for you to give it a try as well, for you to read it and hopefully embody its wisdom, its love more in your life. Well, of course, as a lover, I will do my best for you to get you excited about this book because I think it's one of the most important things in life, love. But because we are so ingrained in our day to day material things and the messiness of life, I'm not so sure whether we are paying enough attention and opening enough space for love. And unfortunately, if you are not really conscious enough to do it personally through your own efforts, through your own dedication, and through your own commitment and discipline, we are not really invited to experience love in a day to day context. It's not something that is taught in schools, it's not something that we see quite a lot of healthy models around. We are born into mostly broken societal structures. Most of our are also born into broken families, and we see broken relationships where people are somehow trying their best, but instead of loving themselves or loving each other, harming each other more than they love. So it is not something that easily comes to us. You don't learn it in school, you don't see great examples in society. And if you're not lucky enough to really have the good models, it's not something to easily acquire. So, unless we consciously first learn what it means to love from a theoretical point of view, then be brave enough to practice it and be committed enough to bring more of it into our lives. That is something that most of us miss, and unfortunately, it's easy to miss in today's world. So, I would like to use this as an invitation to really inspire us to put love at the center of our lives. Because if we can finally do that, I can only say that it's going to change all the practical things around us too. Because if we can connect to our hearts, if we can welcome more of that vibrant, alive energy of love first, then with its motivation, we can learn, we can grow, we can commit our time to many of the practical things in life with passion, with joy, with playfulness, with easefulness. So, seen this way, cultivating love is actually a very practical thing. If you can connect to that energy can give us enough time and space to bring more of the things that we value in life. So, I hope this really gives us another reframing about how practical life is if we have eyes to see. But like I said, it's easily ignored in today's world. And I would like to start with that acknowledgement with a quote from the book. This really articulates why love is easily ignored in today's world. Could it be that only those things that are considered worthy of being learned, which one can earn money or prestige, and that love, which only profits the soul, but is profitless in the modern sense, is a luxury we have no right to spend much energy on? Isn't it the harsh truth of today's world? We dedicate our time and energy only on the practical things that we know in the material world that we live in can bring us power, prestige, and love comes only as a secondary thought. How many of us really consciously think about welcoming more love into our lives, the way that we think about our careers, the way that we think about our education, the way that we think about material things in and around us? And again, it's such a dramatic paradox. We are so ingrained in that practical things that we are losing our connection to the soul, to the heart, to the energy that really powers our actions for the practical things. And unless we connect to that power, that innate love energy, day by day, we are turning into machines because we are doing those practical things. Not that those practical things are emerging out of our existence, in the depths of our existence. Unfortunately, we are only doing it because we are supposed to do. And this is really commodifying us as human beings too. And we are so used to that. This is another key point highlighted and articulated beautifully in the book. The book really talks about how in the material world, especially in the Western world that we operate in, everything is seen like a commodity, like a material. And this is the lens that we see the world. We see everything with economic value, with practical value. And seen this way, it just turns out to be how we see the world, how we see the relationships too. If we are so used to only looking in the world from a practical lens without really seeing the soul behind the things, then we carry the same mindset into our relationships as well. Our relationships also turn out to be really this exchange of our personalities. It's like another trait. Here are the power or prestige dynamics that I represent. Who are you? What are the practical things that you bring into this relationship? And it's not looking into the depths of existence of two human beings. It's literally a game where two sides are assisting each other to determine whether there is enough practicality and alignment in terms of what they represent to the outside world in the form of power, prestige, or many of the other manifestations. Yeah. The book also very beautifully highlights the vicious cycle that most of us operate in today's world because we are disconnected from that inner essence, that love, that existence, that presence that gives us life more and more. We are turning out to be like machines. And this is reflected in the way that we work. Like during the daytime, 8 hours of the day for most of us, we are performing like a cog in the system, like a part of a machine that's easily replaceable. And that also eliminates our individual beauty. We're just turning out to be very similar to each other, easily replaceable. And this really creates a routine that takes the life energy, the soul energy out of us. And because we are leaking that energy by being automized and by doing routinized things that might not be aligned with the aliveness, diversity, and beauty of the human soul during the day, then when we are done with the work, the second vicious cycle starts. And the second vicious cycle is having fun because there is this leak in our cup. We feel like we have to fill it with what we think is joy, what we think is more pleasure. But Eric Fromm also very beautiful highlights that even the definition of that fun and pleasure is very commoditized, easily replaceable. Alcohol, shopping, overworking, sex, whatever you name it. It's just another vicious cycle of doing autonomous work during the daytime, and when you're done with the work, getting into another vicious cycle, a very commoditized cycle, where once again you are easily grabbing things to fill the gap that might not be filled by those things. Sometimes when we are in it, it's really challenging to see this. But if we have eyes to see, if we can just really step back, we can see that there is really truth behind this. And it's deep. And this leads me to another myth about love. When people talk about love, everyone thinks that it's just a feeling. And because of its nature, because of its openness, because of its universality, softness, and because of its essence around unity, everyone thinks that it's a soft feeling. It's easy, right? And we honor things that are hard, that requires discipline. That's what we are used to. But nothing, I think, could be more different and far away from this than the truth of what really love is. It all depends on how we define love. Once again, we are so used to artificial and superficial things that we don't even have enough time and patience to really see what love truly means. In that sense, love sits at the depths of our existence. It's a state of being. It's not a soft, lovey-dovey, fleeting feeling that comes and goes. It's a state of presence that you consciously, with patience, cultivate over time. And just to bring this concept back to home, I would like to share one more thing from the book. Love is not primarily a relationship to a specific person. It is an attitude, an orientation of character, which determines the relatedness of a person to the world as a whole, not towards an object of love. There's big wisdom hidden in here. It's not that dreamy thing that we affiliate with someone, with an object that we are obsessed with. It's a state of being. It's a state of consciousness that determines your relationship, that relational existence that you have with everything in life, including that romantic reflection or romantic object that you might be interacting with at that point of interaction. Seen this way, love is challenging. Cultivating that level of openness, that level of integrity within your relationship with the world. Seen this way, it is one of the highest expressions of human consciousness, human evolution. And I like mixing things up, and I was thinking about love defined this way. Another reflection that I liked is actually coming from Osho. He says, love is the goal, life is the journey. Beautiful summary. We are on this journey of life and through its wisdom. We are learning, growing as human beings. And the more that we learn, the more that we integrate hidden parts that we do not accept, the more that we welcome everything in, the more that we become whole again, which is the essence of health, then we become more unified. And that unification brings more cheerfulness. That unification brings more joy, more presence, more acceptance, more ease. With that, we could be the loving embodiment of that consciousness level. And that's, I think, human journey that we are all taking, and the reflections of that might be different for each individual. And we each have very unique paths. So in that sense, I also know, not only feel, but know that life is the biggest school where we are given individualized curriculum based on our needs so that we can learn the lesson and then love more, integrate more. And I also love Rilke and his poetry that beautifully articulates how love is actually one of the challenging things for human life and how it's actually at the essence of our existence. So, using this as another opportunity to introduce you to another form of poetry, I would like to share a couple of wisdom from Rilke. For one human being to love another, that is perhaps the most difficult of all our tasks, the ultimate, the last test and proof, the work for which all the other work is but a preparation. Isn't it beautiful? Yeah. All the work that we are doing in our lives, all the lessons that we are integrating is a preparation for loving more of ourselves, loving more of life, loving more of existence. See, in this way, love is very serious. It is actually the most serious task that we can take as individuals if we are bold, brave, if we are full of life enough to see its beauty. Okay, I think we unpacked a little bit what love means and how it's actually a state of being and how it really requires us to grow, to integrate more of life so we can welcome, we can be open to more love in our lives in different shape or form. It doesn't have to be around an object of our obsession. And indeed, if it is around an object of our obsession, that is not true love. And as we all know from our lives, time will tell that it is not real love as well. So the next question to ask is really then, how do we practice love? In this book, Erich Fromm talks about love as a form of art. It's a state of being, it's a state of living life. And as in any art form, you can be the master of this art in three ways, three different steps. First, you need to know the theory, which is what you've been unpacking, defining, and reflecting and contemplating. And this is just another invitation for you to find your own answers and find your own resonance. The second thing is practice. You learn the theory. How do you practice this? Everyday life, using any kind of interaction for deepening our connection with more of life. This could be brotherly love that you have for any other human being. This could be within the context of your family love, the love that you have for your mother, father, parents. This could be romantic, erotic love that you feel towards your partner. There are different forms of expressions, but the underlying essence, the commitment, the way of life is similar. And all we need is literally having that intention in our hearts so we can use any relationship we have as an opportunity to practice more love, to see more of ourselves in the mirrors of that relationship, and then integrate more of its wisdom, more of its lessons, so we can embody more love. And the third element is our commitment, dedication for the mastery, for the practice of love or any art form. It needs to be a continuous refinement, dance of learning new things, theory and practice, learning new things, theory and practice, till we perfect, till we embody that dance in us, till we become the dance. So it turns out to be how we live our lives. And I like triples, and Erich Fromm, I think, likes triples too. He says, practice of love requires three things. And these are not the things that you would expect from a soft, lovey-dovey, fleety feeling. This is really serious commitment to a practice, to a mastery. So the first thing is discipline. The second is concentration. The third is patience. We need to be disciplined. We need to bring all of us into this work. And ultimately, we also need to acknowledge that it's going to take time. It's going to be this eternal dance of theory and practice. And it will reveal itself along the journey. So once we plant the seed and once we prepare the soil and make the necessary watering and make sure that it has enough sunshine, with all of our concentration and with our dedication and discipline, we just need to nurture it with time, with patience. And in the meantime, the only thing that we can do is really making sure that we are ready to welcome the highest form of love that can emerge from this experience. Once again, a brief share from the book. If one wants to become a master in any art, whole life must be devoted to it, or at least must be related to it. One's own person becomes an instrument in the practice of art and must be kept fit according to the specific functions it has to fulfill. With regard to the art of loving, this means that everyone who aspires to become a master in this art must begin by practicing discipline, concentration, and patience throughout every phase of his life. Yeah, we are just vehicles for practicing this form of art, and our life is the masterpiece that allows us to bring more of this into the world. Seen this way, love is not this soft, fleeting feeling. It's a discipline, it's a concentration, it's patience, it's an constant act of co creating with life from your own center, from your own existence. It might not be easy. It might require us to dedicate our lifetime to really be a master of it. If we are really serious about understanding and integrating what love truly means. Love is an action. Love is a commitment. Love is the vitality that emerges out of you once you surrender to its beauty. And talking about vitality, probably this will be the last capture from the beauty I was able to gather from this book, but I think it's really important to highlight how we can recognize love. There is only one proof for the presence of love: the depth of the relationship and the aliveness and the strength in each person concerned. This is the fruit by which love is recognized. Now you love something, you feel alive. That brings vitality to you. And you share it. Well, I loved this book so much that I wanted to share my love with you from the depths of my heart, from the depths of your heart. And I really would like to use this as an invitation for you to consciously welcome more love into your life. So we can have the right vital energy, life energy, to bring our dreams into this beautiful world. So we can be happy with our existence and hopefully share it with our loved ones around us. So I think this book really should be a mandatory read in schools. I will definitely use it as a core essence of my further contemplations as well. And this is once again just a practical invitation for us to see the beauty of love so we can welcome more of its wisdom, its vitality at the center of our lives. So we honor what it truly means to be a human. And hopefully we can share it in different shape or form in our businesses, in our families, in our society. With that, I would like to thank you for your love, for your attention, and for being here with me. It means a lot. And for more beauty, as always, please check the links that will be down below in the description to see more of my contemplations. Till next time, stay beautiful. Thank you. Bye.